Hey garden nerds, I'm Christy Wilhelmi. Before we get to today's episode, I want to tell you two brief announcements. One, I am developing an online course that is debuting in the new year. It is called Creating a Healthy Garden, and it is all about organic pest control methods that you probably haven't thought of in order to keep your garden healthy all year long without the use of chemical sprays or even organic ones, okay? The other thing, and it's kind of a big deal, I wrote a novel. It's called Garden Variety, and it is coming out February 1st, 2022 with William Morrow, which is an imprint of HarperCollins. It is set in a community garden and covers kind of all the stuff that happens when you put people of different stripes together in tight quarters. So I hope you'll check it out. It's available for pre-order already. Now, on with today's lesson. What to do in December in your garden. There are a lot of things that you can do in December in the garden if your climate permits. The first thing I'd like to talk about is planting a cover crop mix. Cover crops are a really great way to help build great soil over winter without you doing much of anything. The best idea is to pick a variety of seeds that come in a mix. Usually they're pretty inexpensive, and you can plant things that fix nitrogen, help prevent erosion, build up soil structure, and feed the microbes that are living in the soil, and provide habitat for the creatures that are living in your neighborhood. If you can, pick something that has at least 5 different varieties of seeds in them, like oats, hairy vetch, fava beans, bell beans, that kind of stuff. And you can always plant these and water them well, or plant them right before you see rain in your forecast. Oh, look who's here. Hi, Mittens. Mittens is here. You can see her tail. We're talking about cover crop seeds. The other thing you can plant, if you can, is flowers. This is my flower jar, and it's a great time to scatter seeds before it rains, and then you'll have stuff volunteering, not necessarily volunteering because you planted it, but things coming up in spring or even late winter, like we do here. Every year I scatter seeds for California poppies, nasturtiums, marigolds, calendula, alyssum, love-and-a-mist, phacelia. California native seeds do best if you do this now, because then they'll scarify over winter and pop up in spring. So that's number 2. Number 3 is, and this is if you, whether or not you have your garden in action right now or not, but it's a great time to clean your tools. I use 3 tools when I clean and oil my tools. The first is this Sandflex sanding block. I use the medium coarse material. It is like an eraser for rust and grime and all kinds of stuff. It works great, better than sandpaper, better than steel wool, better than just about anything. The second thing is to clean up the burrs off of any edges that might not be sharp anymore. With something like a hand file. You can also take your tools to a professional and have them sharpened, or get out a bigger file, take the tool apart and sharpen it on a whetstone. But just the act of cleaning off all the grime from the season and sanitizing it and oiling it will make it ready for next spring. The last step though, and don't forget this, is to oil it. Now I use this, this is like machine oil, but each of these tool manufacturers will have some kind of pruner oil that you can buy, that you can oil after you've cleaned and sharpened your tools. Oiling keeps them from rusting, so make sure you do that. Okay. Next up, let's talk about bare root fruit trees. Why are bare root fruit trees a really good idea? Well, first of all, you'll have a far better selection than you will find at nurseries usually, and you'll be able to select trees for your hardiness zone with the right kind of harvest time that you're looking for, and they're inexpensive to ship. If you need help figuring out how to choose bare root fruit trees and all of the details that you need to know in order to make the right choice, you'll find that in my book, Grow Your Own Mini Fruit Garden. Some seed catalogs also sell potted fruit trees that are shipped also very dormant. You'll see this stick is 2 bamboo poles and a fig tree, and it comes in a really small pot, but it's dormant, so it's really inexpensive to ship something like this. And so you'll save money on that. Plus, you'll be able to dig the hole before your ground freezes and put them in when they arrive. Now, if your shipping date isn't until spring and you still can work the ground now, great time to dig the soil, dig the hole right now, amend it, and then let it rest over winter. And then when your tree arrives in spring or late winter, you can put it in the ground. What other things can you do this time of year? Well, if you've got herbs, they probably look a little scary right now. It's a good time to give them a haircut. There are herbs that you prune back to the soil level because new growth comes from the base, and that's going to happen in herbs like oregano and mint and chives. But for herbs like rosemary, thyme, and lavender, those grow from wherever you cut them. So this is a perfect time to really aggressively prune those back, at least by 50%, but not back to deadwood, so that they will send up new growth that will be bushy and compact. And you won't get that fault line that runs through the middle of them after they get too big and they start to split. And around here, we plant bulbs up until about Christmas because the ground doesn't freeze over here. So you can plant flower bulbs as well as garlic and shallots up until that time. Again, they will probably just sit there and not do anything for a while, but you're going to get a jump on early spring. And the last thing, let's talk about perennial vegetables. So this is the time of year usually when, if you've pre-ordered your rhubarb, your asparagus, those kinds of things that need some prep time and time to grow, this is the time to prep the beds for those, because between the time you order them and when they arrive, you can get things ready to put them in the ground. Once they arrive, put them straight in the ground. They will start to show life next spring, and then you'll have perennial vegetables growing in your garden that require less water and less attention from you. And for those of you who've already shut down your garden for the winter, fear not, seed catalogs are starting to arrive in the mail. This is the time to dream big. Leaf through those catalogs, dog-ear the pages, circle those things, do your research, and start planning out what you want to grow that's new and different for 2022. So those are just a few ideas of what you can do this December and into January to keep your garden going or plan for the next one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to find out when our next video comes online. Consider becoming a Patreon subscriber to support all the free stuff that we do here at Gardenerd, and of course check out my books, Grow Your Own Mini Fruit Garden, Gardening for Geeks, and my new novel, Garden Variety, which is available for pre-order now. Happy gardening!